Mr. Kipak, CBC Marketplace featured your company Business in Motion in a rather negative light and made some inflammatory remarks about the integrity and legality of your business. What did you think of the episode?
Well, I mean, CBC Marketplace is national-wide. I mean, we're talking about being advertised all over Canada. I mean, it's any entrepreneur's dream to have that. Think about it. I mean, millions and millions of people are watching that show all the time. And I mean, 23 months since we launched this marketing plan, and already we're nationally wide advertisements. This is second to none. This is a dream come true, really, for anybody, wouldn't it be? You know, throughout the entire show, they did try to portray some negative stuff. Okay, so let's just take a good quick look at the characters that they had in that show. I mean, there are 5 characters that we should analyze very seriously. First one I'd like to analyze is somebody by the name of Scott McCluskey. Now, Scott McCluskey is a so-called disgruntled distributor. But let's take a good look at who this person is. First of all, Scott McCluskey had been selling timeshare for more than 10 years prior to walking into our presentation, prior to seeing the business opportunity at hand. Now, as an individual selling timeshare for more than 10 years, he specializes in doing that. He's done it for a long time. He knows exactly how the industry works and what exactly he's doing. He specializes in taking money out of people's pockets, whether they like to or not. Okay, that's what they do. Now, he joined as a distributor in late August. He was totally overwhelmed with the value and began presenting the product. And you know what? He's the only distributor that I know of that started presenting within 30 days. I mean, to be that excited, that overwhelmed, and he knew the product very well. So he's very understanding to the value that we have and the revolution in the industry. He started presenting within a month. He was persuading people, many people, night after night, you know, in the Kelowna area in British Columbia. He was, you know, basically getting them to purchase the product. In the first month or so, he made 13 personal sales. Now, the interesting part about that is 5 of them were poached from other distributors. I mean, he actually took other distributors' sales because he couldn't handle the fact that maybe the person wasn't coming in right away and purchasing right away, and he would try and sell them right on the spot. Now, we confronted him with his wrongdoing. I personally had conversations with him how you can't treat people like that and how you can't do that. It's unethical. And we had warned him, in fact, many times, and 3 times as a for sure, we warned him. Yet he continued on. Okay, so before you know, he got suspended. In fact, he was the very first distributor yet to be suspended for 30 days. During the suspension, ultimately it ended up as being removed as a distributor. What I like is that in the show, he says, and I quote, "Nothing but a nightmare from beginning to end." That was his quote. So where does his words come from? Where does his credibility come from? Obviously, there isn't any. Next person I'd like to discuss is Dave Thornton, or better known as Gator Dave. I mean, here's a gentleman, or I don't know if we call him a gentleman, but anyways, here's a person who portrays themselves as a, you know, authority on illegal business. He claims that companies such as Monaviv, a network marketing company, or even the Ontario Police Association are illegal operations. This is what he claims on his website. Go to his website and you'll see what I'm saying. He was actually kicked out of his, most people don't know this, but he was kicked out of his own city. Okay, Kincardine, Ontario. He was kicked out of his own city by the mayor of the city. Can you imagine that? Okay. Anyways, in the CBC market segment place, it shows that the police come along, they handcuff him, and they take him to jail. So do we know where that character belongs? We know exactly where he goes. How about the next one I'd like to portray? I'd like to talk about Ross Perlmutter. Okay, this is the so-called travel industry expert. Now, if they'd have told me that Ross Perlmutter was the travel industry expert when I did the interview with them, I'd have been on the floor rolling and laughing my you-know-what right off. I'm telling you, I'd have laughed my head off. You see, I know who Ross Perlmutter is. You see, back in 1995, he was actually the supplier of in-travel certificates, which is, I was involved with the company and I was very new to the industry. He'd been in it for years, and he sold these travel certificates. They ranged anywhere from, you know, $10 to $1,000, these certificates. But he was the biggest guy. He was the guy who just sold them. He sold them all over Canada. Yet over about a year or so later, the courts actually proved in court that these travel certificates were nothing more than an advertisement. Then they were nothing worth nothing more than the paper they were written on them. Yet he did that ongoingly day after day. That's what he sold. And they proved it illegal to sell travel certificates after that point in time. Okay, so you know, it's amazing how he could do that. I don't know how anybody could do that. You see, I've always had a business vision whereby, you know, if I see a product and I know deep down in my heart that I can go and sell it to my grandmother, and any time in the next 5 to 10 years, my grandmother would come back and thank me profusely. If I knew that, well, I could take it to anybody. And I don't know how anybody could go around selling something that is worth absolutely nothing and do it for years and has a total history in the industry. He knew what he was doing, okay? We didn't need the courts to tell him that. He knew what he was doing. Anyways, today you're going to find this, this person as a director. And guess what he's a director of? You're going to like this one. He's the director of the Canadian Resort Development Association. Excuse me, this is a company that promotes ownership of resorts. In other words, they promote timeshare. This is what he does for a living. And here we are showing a product that absolutely shows a much better value, extensively better value than ever buying a timeshare, where people can come and go as they wish. They don't have to pay the huge monies up front. They don't have to pay year after year. This is what he does for a living. This is their expert bringing to the table. Okay? Obviously, he sees an issue here. His livelihood is at stake, okay? And because we're constantly exposing the truth to timeshare on a daily basis in cities all the way across the country, okay? This is the guy who says, and he says in the show, he says, well, you buy our vacation ownership or their timeshare, and now you own it. So any given time down the road, you can sell it. The part that he doesn't tell you is that if you do go to sell it, after paying about 20 grand on average for them, you're lucky if you can get 20%, or in other words, 4 grand. And what's really funny is if you go to his website, okay, he's got a listing of resellers there. Go and look one up, you can see it. You can see it yourself. Okay, now this is the guy who's the so-called expert. How do you like that? The next thing I want to talk to you about, is a little bit on their product comparison. You see, timeshare vacation ownership, you commonly pay 20 grand up front. You will then pay a weekly maintenance for however many weeks. Let's say you just bought 1 week a year. So you would pay this maintenance of 1 week a year. Every year, let's say $800 every single year, year after year after year. Whether you go or not, you got to pay the $800. Okay? Now, let's say you wanted to go to somewhere else, because, you know, going to the same place might be a little bit monotonous, right? Let's say you wanted to go somewhere else, okay? You got to pay an exchange fee because you own that one. So to go somewhere else, you got to pay an exchange fee, so about $170, okay? That's the way it works. Now, this is what our club offers. You don't pay any money up front, nowhere near the amount of up front, not $20,000 for 1 week. We have a product that is only a mere few $1,000s, and in fact, it's 5 weeks, okay? There's no maintenance. You don't pay. If you don't go, you don't pay, okay? Now, there's a small rental fee, which is a lot less than maintenance, okay? On top of that, every week as a owner of our membership or our product, okay, you get what's called Deal-A-Day email. It's an email sent to you every week, and it's called Deal-A-Day. And in Deal-A-Day, there are 7 regular deals and 7 last-minute deals. And if you look up any one of those, okay, Google it right then and there, you will find that 40 to 60% less than anything out there, no matter last minutes, whatever you think of, it doesn't matter. What kind of special is being offered, it doesn't matter, okay? We're 40 to 60% less on every single one of them. That's 7 regular deals and 7 last minute deals every single week. Every Monday or Tuesday, they get sent out, okay? That's what we have to offer. Now, I have something to offer for everyone else, okay? And I want you to listen very carefully. I have a $10,000 offer. If you can find any of the information that I'm telling you right now and prove it in any way, shape, or form, that any of it is second to perfect and directly honest, 100% of it, anything, I'll give you $10,000. Okay? So take that.